Okay, changing attitudes on social issues. All right, let's read the question first. As always, the acceptance of which issue has experienced the most growth between 1960 and 2015. So that's basically asking which one of these went up the most, which in sort of a backwards way is a math question. It's actually a subtraction question. You take this, whatever the end point is, and you subtract it from the beginning point. So if you look for the thing that went up the most, started at the bottom, now we're here, it's this one, which if you track it all the way up to the end is interracial marriage. It looks like it started at about 5% support and it ended at about 85% support. So if you subtract 5 from 85, that's 80%. None of the others are going to have that big a range. This one, female president, started at 55 and ended up, say, at 90. So that's, well, it's less than 80%. So the answer is B, interracial marriage. At some point between 1960 and 2015, one issue lacked the support of 9 out of 10 people. What was it? So, well, if you think about any dot on this graph, the way they set it up, it says the percentage of Americans who say they would support something. So any dot on any of these numbers is going to be the people in favor of it. So which one lacked the support of 9 out of 10 people? Well, only 9 out of 10 people is 90% or not approval or 10% approval. So anything that it has to be down here. The only thing that's ever underneath 10% is this one, the interracial marriage. So back in the 60s, 50s and 60s, 9 out of 10 people did not support interracial marriage, which is crazy. Two or three things you notice about the graphic. I don't know what you notice. The things that jump out to me are that all of these social issues, the American support has increased. All of the slope of all of these lines is positive. They've all come up. Some of them go down for like a minute, like over here, but the overall trend is positive. Another thing I notice is that they didn't really do a lot of like they have polling on interracial marriage and female presidents from back in the 60s, but they didn't even start asking questions about gay stuff until the 70s and same-sex marriage until, the mid 90s, which is sort of kind of interesting to me. The other thing that's you notice is the slope here. The slope of a female president is kind of gradual. The support has gone up, but it's been like, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. If you look at the end of the same-sex marriage thing, that slope is a lot steeper, which tells me that it's increased in support. Like people have come around to same-sex marriage a lot faster than a lot of the other things. I would guess that the reason this one goes up so much is because they probably didn't ask the question between this year and this year. Over here, they were asking it every couple of years, and it goes up a little bit. So this looks like a giant leap, and maybe it is. Like the slope is actually going to be something like that, but I don't know. That's just sort of math noticings. Describe the graphic's main idea. I think the main idea is contained in this sentence. In recent decades, ideas that once seemed radical have gained wider acceptance. Basically, people are okay with stuff a lot more than they used to be. That's the sentence I would use. Two conclusions you could draw from that. I don't know, this might sound political, but maybe it's a better time to be alive now than it was in the 60s, for example, that especially if you're interested in marrying someone who doesn't look like you, or you want to marry someone who's the same sex as you are. It's a wonderful time to be alive. All right, that's the main stuff. The end.